You lock your doors at night thinking it'll keep you safe. But what if I told you someone's already inside? They're in the walls, the attic, the crawl space, watching, listening, waiting. Tonight, we're diving into 7 of the most disturbing real-life cases of strangers secretly living inside people's homes. Some for weeks, some for months, and some who might still be out there. These aren't urban legends. They're real, and they'll make you rethink every creak, every shadow, and every sound you've ignored in your own house. There's a name for this horrifying phenomenon: frogging. Like a frog hopping from one place to another, froggers secretly live inside homes, unnoticed by the actual residents. Some do it out of desperation, some for thrill, and others for far darker reasons. In some of these cases, the residents didn't even know someone else had been living with them until they discovered evidence, or until it was too late. Let's begin with one of the most infamous cases that will send a chill down your spine. Story 1. The Man in the Crawlspace. In 2019, a Seattle woman started noticing strange things around her home. Food would go missing. Items would move from one place to another. And at night, she'd hear faint thuds coming from inside her walls, but told herself it was just rodents. Until one night, she woke to the sound of footsteps. Not outside her door, inside her house. When police arrived, they made a shocking discovery. A man had been living in her crawlspace for weeks. He had set up a makeshift bed, piles of stolen food wrappers, and even a notebook filled with observations about the woman. He'd been coming out at night when she was asleep to roam the house, eat, and watch her. When confronted, he told authorities he just liked the feeling of being near someone. But his notebook suggested something far more sinister. He had been planning to approach her when the time felt right. Story 2. The Attic Phantom. In South Carolina, a family noticed thumping noises in their attic. They assumed raccoons had nested up there. But one day, the mother noticed something else. Her personal items were going missing. Her suspicion turned to fear when she found small holes drilled in her bedroom ceiling, peepholes. Authorities searched the attic and discovered a horrifying truth. Her ex-boyfriend had been living above them for over 2 weeks. He had created peepholes to watch them. And based on what police found, ropes, duct tape, and knives, it's likely his intentions were far worse than just spying. This wasn't just a case of stalking. This was planning. And if the mother hadn't acted when she did, we may be talking about a murder instead of just an invasion. Story 3. The Hidden Wall Resident. This case takes us to Japan. A man living alone kept noticing his food disappearing. He assumed he was just forgetful until he set up a camera. What he saw was straight out of a nightmare. In the dead of night, a woman crawled out of his kitchen cabinet, ate his food, wandered his apartment, and then went back inside. When police arrived, they discovered she had been living in the tiny upper compartment of his cupboard for almost a year. She told authorities she needed a place to stay and thought she could go unnoticed. But her behavior on camera, standing over the man while he slept, suggested she was doing far more than just surviving. Imagine that. For nearly a year, someone was living just feet above him, watching him in his most private moments. Story 4. The Case of Daniel LaPlante. If the previous stories are disturbing, this one is pure evil. In 1986, Massachusetts teen Daniel LaPlante broke into a family's home. But instead of stealing, he hid. For days, he'd move objects, leave messages on mirrors, and whisper through the walls. The family thought they were losing their minds, until one night, they found him standing in their home, dressed in the mother's clothes and holding a hatchet. When police arrested him, they discovered a network of tunnels and crawl spaces throughout the house that Daniel had been using to move between rooms. This wasn't about survival. It was psychological torture. He wanted them to know fear, and he succeeded. Story 5. The Colorado Crawl Space. In 2019, a Colorado Springs man began noticing his back door was mysteriously unlocked when he returned home. He brushed it off, until one day, he heard movement under his feet. When police investigated, they found a stranger living in his crawlspace. This wasn't just a squatter. This man had been using the homeowner's electricity, charging his devices, eating his food, and worst of all, he'd been watching the family, memorizing their schedules so he wouldn't get caught. The homeowner later said, "It's one thing to have a burglar. It's another to realize someone's been living in your house, undetected, for weeks." Story 6. The Frogger Family Nightmare. In Tennessee, a family started noticing strange things. Lights turning on by themselves, furniture moved, Wi-Fi slowing down mysteriously. At first, they blamed each other. Until one night, they found a man hiding in their closet, using their Wi-Fi and devices. He confessed he had been living in their home for weeks, saying he just wanted to feel like part of a family. But what disturbed police most? He had been accessing their personal files and emails. He knew everything about them. The idea that he felt so comfortable in their home, like it was his own, left the family traumatized for months. Story 7. The Mysterious Basement Dweller. In one chilling case, Ohio college students renting a house discovered that one of the previously evicted tenants never really left. They'd been hearing noises at night, but assumed it was the pipes. But one night, one student ventured into the basement and found a fully furnished hidden room. The former tenant had broken back in after being evicted, created a secret passageway, and continued living in their basement undetected. He even admitted to coming upstairs at night to watch TV and eat, leaving before anyone woke up. The scariest part? He had keys to their rooms. He could have done anything at any time. These aren't ghost stories. These aren't campfire tales. They're real. If you think it can't happen to you, think again. Check your locks. Check your attic. Check your walls. Because sometimes, the scariest people aren't the ones breaking in. They're the ones already inside. Which of these stories scared you the most? And have you ever experienced something similar? Tell me in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe, because tomorrow's story takes us into even darker territory.